Hey, everybody. Welcome to the second trial installment of Dave's First Five at Seven, where I'll take the first five random people that can join my StreamYard podcast and you can be part of the show, join the conversation, and be part of what's going on. So, first things first, welcome to the show. You can get in touch with me at mohightight.com, YouTube, Mohightight. Please subscribe to me at Mohightight, MOHIGHTIGHT at youtube.com. I'd appreciate it. I'm going to throw up a little thing here in a second that I think will help with that. So, also, I wanted to say that this is a Facebook exclusive. I'm trying to kind of build up my Facebook group. So, if you're not a part of my Facebook group and you're watching, please join. It's the High and Tight LLC. High and Tight LLC. I'd love for you to be a part of my group and stay on top of what's going on. Okay, let's see if I can figure out how to publish a comment. Okay, so looks like maybe nobody's watching. I can't tell. Yeah, it looks like we have 0 viewers. Okay. Let me get the invite anyway. I wonder if this is because it's live to my Facebook group and not my invite. I'm going to end this and try to redo it midstream. Okay, let's see. What happened? I lost it. I don't know if I did lose it or not. Something weird just happened on my Facebook thingy. Oh, I'm not? Okay. All right. Let me see if I could fix it. I'm back. Technical difficulties. Am I back? But you just see the green screen now, though, right? Baby? Yeah, I am, but something's wrong. The StreamYard thing is not working. I don't understand. I got to end this. Where's my go live? Okay, here. Now it will let me. Hmm. Is it working yet? What happened? Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, here we go. All right, I think we're back on. Sorry about that. Okay, so 6 minutes late, but we're doing our thing again. I'm just going to start over. So, welcome to Dave's First Five at 7, Part 2, Episode 2. First episode was filled with technical difficulties. Looks like doing the same thing again. So if you want to get in touch with me, you can get in touch with me at mohightight@gmail.com, Instagram at 420hightight. Please join my Facebook group, High and Tight LLC. And let's see if I can figure out how to publish a link here to chat here where you can join the stream. Okay. You can see it, right, baby? Oh, crap. Okay. All right. We'll fix it next time. All right. Okay, so this did not go off the way I wanted it to. I wanted it to broadcast to my Facebook group, not my Facebook David Huckins. But it did anyway. That's all right. We'll just continue on. The show must go on. Okay, we've already got someone on deck here. I want to bring them on now. Let's see who we got. Hello. Hey,
Hello.
Who am I speaking to tonight?
I'm Belle.
And I'm her daughter, Bela.
Bela. Hi, Belle and Bela. How you doing?
Pretty
Doing
good.
We're under a tornado warning. We're good.
Oh, really? You're still under a warning?
Yeah.
Did you hear sirens go off or anything?
No.
On our phones.
Your phones?
Yeah.
Are you guys outside of the city limits then?
Oh, yeah.
We're in the woods.
Okay, gotcha. Right. Okay, that would explain why there's no siren. Yeah, when there's a problem here, I live in the city. We hear the siren goes off. So yeah, I hope you guys are safe there. Where you guys are in Missouri, right?
Yeah, we're in real southern Missouri, so like an hour north of the Arkansas border. Just yeah, down in the Ozarks.
Okay, I'm up near Kansas City, and we're not having any severe weather yet, and I don't think we're even under any warnings. I think I was outside a little bit earlier, and we're getting a little bit of sprinkles, and that was about it.
It's coming up from Texas, but it's pretty big, so I don't know if it'll still be big once it gets to the top of the state. But
yeah. So I understand that it might be somebody's birthday today.
Today is my birthday.
Happy
Tomorrow
birthday.
is my birthday.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
We usually celebrate our birthdays together.
Do you? Oh, so when's the party? Right now during the are you having a
right now? Here we are.
Right on. Awesome.
Right here on your show.
All right. Well, I'm glad you guys decided to party with me.
Yeah.
Did you girls have cake already?
No.
We just eat random sweet junk food, whatever we feel, you know.
We had a veggie tray.
I recommend pizza.
Pizza good.
Yeah. Pizza sounds
good. Did you hear about the hipster that burned his mouth on pizza?
No.
Yeah, he ate it before it was cool.
What did the pharmacist say to the cows that ingested marijuana?
I don't know what.
The stakes are high right now.
That's pretty good. Well done. I think your daughter looks slightly mortified that you told that joke. Does she tell that joke often?
No.
Why is a welder and a stoner best friends?
I don't know why.
Both enjoy sparking up joints.
That's pretty good. Well done.
Okay, so
See, I've
this
met
is not cannabis. This is just my regular vape, just to let you all know.
Okay, sure. Tobacco use only, of course, as appropriate.
Yes.
Oh, what? I tried to publish my StreamYard message and Facebook blocked it for some reason. It goes against community standards of spam.
Good old
So that's
Facebook.
why nobody's joining the stream. Let me try and post it again.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think maybe it went through that time.
The algorithms are here to get us.
I know, right? Okay, I think it went through, and there is somebody in chat. Although
All
I'm
right.
in StreamYard and not always on Facebook, so if something happens in chat, somebody bring it to my attention. That's great. No
I don't
worries.
think we can see the chat
Okay.
and you at the same time.
Yeah, that might just be the studio.
Oops, what'd you do?
Nothing.
Yeah, we can only see you or the chat. We can't look at both. But it looks like we can get a notification when there is a new chat message.
Right. Michael said, yeah, it went through. They saw it go through. So they saw my link. If there's anybody watching, let me look at the analytics earlier. According to this, we have one viewer.
All right, viewer.
We're
Go
part of the
you.
elite crowd. Oh, awesome. So did you guys know that I'm sorry, did you ladies know that I do another podcast on Tuesdays?
I think
Yeah.
I may have seen an episode or two. Is it with you and Master Yoda and the Magnificent Messiah?
Yeah.
Yes, I've
So
seen that a couple times. Really good.
Those guys are my co-hosts. We've done a lot of really cool shows. So we do a lot of stuff. So far, it's just been mostly people that I've met online through Missouri chat rooms, Canna Corner specifically, and other places. I don't know if you know about me. I've got a micro business dispensary license, and I'm trying to figure out how to get that business going. So in the meantime,
Yeah.
I'm doing these podcasts to raise awareness and get my name out there so people know who I am and whatnot. And so far, it's been hit or miss with that.
So what's
Social
the name
media
of your
can be a
business?
double-edged sword, right?
Yeah. When did you get your micro license awarded, and do you know what your business name is going to be?
High and tight.
High and tight?
Yeah.
All right.
I may have to change that. I may have to do a DBA depending on where I set up shop, So I want it to be area appropriate. Like high and tight would probably go over really good. High and tight is a play on a military haircut. I'm a former military guy, So it's kind of a play on the high and tight, the military aspect of it. And if I set up shop around Fort Leonard Wood, that would go over gangbusters there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But if I'm setting up somewhere rural, that might not go over so well. People might not relate to that, So it depends on where I set up.
You might be surprised. There are some neat little micro dispensaries popping up out here in rural Missouri here and there, and there's a couple close to us.
There's one that's like about 30 minutes away, and before it took hour and a half to drive to a dispensary, but since it's a micro, it's like not exactly the same. It's like a tiny little shed, and it's adorable. And it's
Really?
Canna Jacks. It's in Summersville. It's part of a campground.
Oh, I've heard of Canna Jacks. I've heard of that.
Yep.
I think I may be on their Facebook group. I'm part of so many Facebook groups, and I want to be, watch everybody's stuff and see what everybody's doing. But it's hard to be, on top of what everybody's doing. That's why I appreciate you ladies for being here for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we'd love to support you.
Have you seen these hilarious goat videos that I've done to try and promote my YouTube channel?
No, we need to now.
Yes, we do.
Let me show you this and see. Let's see your reaction to this. Must be new around here because I know all the ladies.
My generation, we get it. Yeah, no, that works. That's a good promotion.
You like that?
That ad looks like it was made by someone my age, so that would, yeah.
Plastered all over your t-shirts.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I was going for. Here, there's another one. I like this one too. Oh, here comes Carl. He's gonna do it again. Oh, Carl, come on. That was some 1980s, man. Stop.
Wow, is it real? God.
Yeah, goat tongues are really long. I had a goat. You know that?
Goats are fun.
Did
They're
your,
cute
did
and
your
they're
goat
little.
ever do that with its tongue? Is that something that goats do?
No.
Oh, really? That's just a weird goat then. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just
They
found
were
that video on Instagram and I remixed it. I thought it was hilarious what it was already. I'm thinking about doing another one, but I haven't got enough hilarious responses to these videos yet. So that's kind of why I'm promoting them now. Have you seen you've seen the video that I do for my Slightly Informed Opinions of Dave, the podcast, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
Is
I
it
would love
the intro?
yeah,
Go ahead
yeah.
and play it.
I would love to see your lady's reaction to that. Let me play it for you. It's the Slightly Informed Opinions of Dave, the Weed Cast. It's super. Oh no, I'm having technical difficulties.
I'm like, is this supposed to be glitching out like that? That's funny.
No,
Is it Andy
it's not
Kaufman?
supposed to glitch.
No,
No, I was making a joke.
And I'll just make the instrument sounds with my mouth and my hand. There's going to be exciting guests and an outrageous co-host. You will find out that this show is the most. I'm gonna do my own thing. It's gonna be super cool. We're gonna have a good time. And if you don't like it, you can respectfully disagree. I'm just kidding. You can suck it.
Do more of that. All of that. Especially
gold right there.
Especially when you mess up and then you keep going. It's like it's good. It's great. It's perfect.
How do you like the super obnoxious advertising on the sides too? While I'm singing, I thought that was a nice addition.
It's like almost Rick and Morty-esque the way it's like, yeah.
It's a bit over the top. Yeah, I liked it. I did that in the first take too. I was like, I love this. I was going to go back and redo it, and I was like, this is awkwardly delicious. I love it.
Yes.
Awkwardly delicious.
That's
I'm going to post the link again. Make sure people are getting it because nobody's joining, but that's
It might be
okay.
a tornado.
What's that?
It might be in a tornado.
Oh yeah, they might be. All the people that want to watch my show are down south in Missouri for some reason.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Huh.
No, I'm just saying that's why they're not watching because they're all in their tornado shelter right now.
No, I'm not. So are you like in Kansas City proper?
Oh, maybe, yeah. What's that?
Are you in like Kansas City proper, like the city
I'm in
area?
actually Leavenworth, Kansas. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got my dispensary license for Missouri's Congressional District 4, which kind of goes Belton over to Columbia and then down to Fort Leonard Wood and then back over to Kansas area. So anywhere in there I can put my dispensary.
Yeah.
So right now I'm thinking Kansas City area because it's close to where I am now and there's a lot of, customers there. So
you're going to be a dispensary. Do you know people that have won the cultivation licenses that you're ready to work with?
yes, I do. Yeah, I know most of them actually.
Good.
Yeah, and I've actually already pissed off about half of them, and they don't want to work with me. Yeah, I used to host a weekly call for the Missouri micro business community.
Oh, very cool.
Every week, and I did that for about 3 months. And then there's already a couple of groups that service the micro business community. And they were regulars on my call every week. They'd be there. In fact, their people were like co-hosts on my show and stuff like that. We had a pretty amicable relationship. But then I decided to have a meeting where I proposed a new group that would do some things that the current group was not doing, and they all showed up and trashed my meeting. And they did not. All the board members and their spouses showed up and trashed my meeting. There's a 50-minute awkward video of them of it on posted online. Yeah. And so that was the end of my community involvement with the Missouri micro business community. But it was a blessing in
Okay.
disguise. All my haters came out and I can see who they are now. And then I still have a lot of supporters. So, oh, is that a cat's butthole right there? Oh, there's a rule. There's a
Tyke.
rule on my
No
show.
cat
Anytime you
butthole.
see a cat's butthole, you have to do a bong rip. So that's a rule on my show. I don't know. Have you ever seen
Well,
that?
we couldn't do it on your show.
This is not the first time this has happened. That's why there's a rule
Oh,
about cats.
sorry, I gotta run off screen real quick.
Okay, all right.
Just blow a hose into a bathtub. Don't mind me.
Yeah. So yeah, the answer is yeah. I'm not as involved as I used to be in the micro business community. I used to be really involved, and I knew a lot about what was going on, and I still do. I'm still pretty connected, and there's a lot of people that still support me in what I'm doing. In fact, Magnificent Messiah from my co-host, he's a grower from the St. Louis area, and we want to partner together. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, his business looks really cool. How it's family oriented and like his branding, and it's just like he looks like a fun guy and a nice
he is.
guy.
Yeah. I did a podcast with him, and he's been featured in a few articles online. So there's information about their outline. For some reason, he cannot get a Facebook account because every time he tries it and he enters his name, which is Magnificent Messiah, Facebook says you have to use a real name that you use in everyday life. And he's like, this is my real name. And they won't let him have any. For some reason, he even tries to use a fake name and it says, no, it won't let it. He can't, for some reason, he has a lot of trouble. And it might be just, he's like me, he's old and he doesn't understand technology. Like this is supposed to be broadcasting on my Facebook group, not my Facebook, David Huckins account. So as soon as this is over, I'm going to go have to hide this and then share it to my Facebook group so people can see it. Because I try to keep my business in the Facebook group and just, me and my wife and our, what we do, where we go, things that we do and stuff like that on my David Huckins. It's the dual life. Partly of as it is because I still live in Kansas, where it's illegal, and so I can't consume or do grow here or do any of that fun stuff that I'll be able to do once I get to move to Missouri.
Oh, man, yeah. Well, I'm a cultivator. I'm a personal cultivator, caregiver, and my daughter and I have both been patients for years now.
Oh,
and
really?
So we just started learning things, but I would love to apply for a micro license next go around. I'm going to try.
I would love to help you. If you need any help, please reach out to me. I would love to mentor you through the application process. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited
about trying to help. Especially, I'll help anybody. I'm really especially about helping women and people of color to try and get in this because I think those are the people that could benefit from this the most. So if you have any other people that are interested, let me know. I've already done. Have you seen? I have got an episode on my mohightight.com. It's if you search for application, there's about an hour-long video I did about the current application process, about how it worked in round 2 that I went through that will probably be helpful. Although the process is going to change again because of a lot of shenanigans that are happening in round 1 and 2. The state is doing some rule changes to try and prevent some of that stuff from happening. So I'm anticipating that some of the rules will be a little bit different, but a lot of it will be the same. So some of the information will be relevant and some of it may not.
How did you find the application process? Was it hard for you, or did you get help, or did you just do it by yourself?
I just figured it out. Yeah.
I
just figured it. Nobody mentored me. I just figured it out. I reached out to some people that I thought could help me, but nobody would return my, calls. Nobody would. Yeah. I was trying to partner with another guy that was also doing an application. I was like, dude, if we work together and one of us gets an application, we can, we'll do this thing. And I got a license and I don't think he did. So, it was his loss for not trying to partner with.
Congratulations. That's amazing. How'd that feel? I bet that was exciting when you heard you got it, huh?
Yeah, it was kind of unbelievable. It was surreal because it was really a lottery thing,
Wow.
So
you're in a big area that's populated with people that probably want to apply for stuff like that, right? I mean,
yeah, and not only that, but I don't know if you know about some of the shenanigans that have been going on in the micro business arena. But there were not very many dispensary licenses that were issued. There were the proper amount were issued, but a lot of them were revoked because the state said
Yeah.
that, sorry, you didn't provide the correct information to prove that you're a valid applicant, or
Yeah.
whatever the state said. What for whatever reason they gave to deny those applicants, and a lot of those were dispensaries. So
Yeah.
I'm one of the rare few dispensaries licenses that were awarded and then not later taken away.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. No,
If
I
I
have
could
heard a little bit about
it.
what's going on, but I don't know much about it. You know, I've heard that a lot of licenses were revoked. I wasn't sure why, but heard different things. I don't know.
heard there was a lot of bad actors. I heard
Yeah.
that quite a few people who were stand-ins for corporations ended up getting in somehow, and that was the majority of the ones that got revoked, other than people who didn't have the infrastructure for it by the right time.
Oh, you have to have the infrastructure for it ready?
Like, not when you get the license. He knows.
You got 2
There's-
years from the. You don't actually
Oh,
get the
well,
license. You get
and
the
then you have to have a certain amount of stuff at that too. Yeah.
you get the approval to start commencing operations, right? So you get the approval to do everything up until the point where you're ready to start your business, whether it's for a grow or a wholesale, and you get 2 years for that.
That's
Um,
cool.
And after that 2 years, you can probably get a variance, and they probably, you know, if you say, hey, I still want to do this, it's just, you know, I'm having troubles or whatever, they probably just, you know, give it to you.
Yeah.
But and there's a lot of people from round one that are going to be coming up on that 2-year mark, and I know a lot of them are not up and operational or commenced yet, so we'll see what the state does. So I was hoping to be up and running and doing better than this right now, but there's only 3 wholesale facilities that are up and running right now. So if I even did have a facility running, there's only 3 wholesale facilities that I can buy product from. And those
Wow.
guys are limited to 250 flowering plants at a time.
Yes.
So I'm concerned about
I
being
can't wait
open
to do that.
and then not having enough product on my shelf to, you know, for customers to come to my store, and then my, you know, door to be closed because I don't have product. That's probably a customer I lost, you know?
So we need more growers and we need more dispensaries, micro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an interesting atmosphere and an interesting dynamic what's going on in the micro business arena. Yeah, anytime you want to talk about it, I'm full of information about that topic. Tell me about what you ladies are doing. Do you have much time? I know you said you had about 30 minutes. Do you have much time to chat?
Yeah. I don't even know what time it is right now.
It's
Yeah,
close to
let's chat.
7:28.
So tell us about you, Bella.
Well, I am involved in this because when I was around 15 or 16, I got a medical card because I was on about 7 pills a day for mental stuff and metabolism stuff and other stuff. And once I got my medical card, I could pretty much quit my meds without worrying about being sick enough to go to the hospital. So yeah, it helped with an uncountable amount of issues in my life, and also helped me not rely on pharmaceutical drugs for the rest of my life. So that's
That's
great.
a beautiful story. Would you
Yeah,
mind
the only
sharing how
hard
old
side,
you are going to be tomorrow?
20.
Okay. So
Yep.
this has been about 5 years, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So could you mind sharing what kind of cannabis use you use that helps you?
Well, the first time I ever tried anything, it was just a CBD vape pen, and it was because I was having a really bad panic attack, and even just
Oh,
that worked. But
oh, wow.
I mostly like any form of smoking because unless it's a really high dosage edible, it doesn't typically work on me. But the super
Mm.
high dosage ones, that's the best. I mean, you know, like it really depends on your metabolism and your tolerance, but I feel like smoke goes quicker, of course. And if you're going to have an edible, then you need to make sure it's going to work. So you don't want to have 100
Mm.
milligram each time you do it. So I kind of mix and
Hmm.
match around. That way I'm not, you know.
I am one of those weirdos who edibles do not seem to affect me. They used to
So
kind of
I have to,
help me sleep at night, but even lately they don't even help make me drowsy. There's just no effect at all anymore. So
I
I've
have to
heard,
take 100 milligram for it to do anything, or at
I've
least
taken
half.
close to 1,000 milligrams before and nothing,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
I'd be drooling on the
Yep.
floor.
Yeah.
Some
I mean,
people
most
do.
people would be out of it. Yeah.
Yep. You?
Oh, you know what? I think I forgot to plug the power in on my laptop. Hold on just a second. I did. Everything kind of went dark. Okay, so that was kind of funny. You answered like a question that I like to ask all my guests on my slightly informed opinions of Dave, the Weedcast, which is tell me about your first cannabis experience, and you already did that. So it was a CBD
Yeah.
to help
I
with
was having,
anxiety,
huh?
and it was a CBD vape to help with anxiety. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was one of the first panic attacks I ever had, and I was really young. And it was when it was still really hard to find any regulated CBD. So we had a friend who had that kind of stuff all the time because that's all they used.
Oh, okay.
So I tried that, and then once it got legal, mom was like, "Oh, well, maybe we could get you a medical card, and you wouldn't have to be on so many pills for sleep and different mind stuff and stuff." And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much
That's
it. I'm
beautiful.
surprised it helped though, considering it was just CBD.
That's a beautiful story. That's a lot of the stories that I tell on my slightly informed opinions of Dave. A lot of people like, I'm surprised how many people have stories about getting out using cannabis to get off really hard drugs. There's a lot of those stories. And there's also a lot
That's
of
good
people
to
that
hear.
for medical reasons. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
ma'am.
It's good to know that people are getting off of harder drugs just with cannabis. I mean, that's like a godsend, you know?
I've addressed that. You know, I'm an alcoholic, so I don't drink anymore. And when I was going through a drug and alcohol counseling, they said that any breach of any substance that alters your consciousness and you failed at sobriety, you know. So smoking, drinking, pills, coke, you know, whatever. And that all that stuff is a failure at sobriety. And I still smoked for a long time, and that bothered me. I was like, I guess I'm just not sober, you know. But then they came out with a new term called California sober. Have you heard that
Yep.
one?
Yep.
No.
That's for people that only smoke weed. They're
Yeah.
California
No.
sober. So yes, I can be California sober.
No, for
Uh,
real. Yeah.
there was a really good episode, The Circus Freaks. Did you see that one? The shit show. You should look at that episode on the Slightly Informed Opinions of Dave. These guys, it's a gentleman and his fiance or life partner that he's been with for a long time, and they are actual circus freaks, and they got off a serious roller coaster of meth addiction by
Wow.
using cannabis to help facilitate that. They didn't even go to like any counseling or anything, right? They just did it themselves. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any experience with people that are close to you that have been meth or any personal experience, but that is a hard drug to kick. Most people I know that were on meth either, you know, went to prison or they've died or they're still, you know, that's a hard drug to get off of, you know. So that's impressive to hear that somebody has used cannabis, and I'd like to spread that story to get off those drugs, you know.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
So that was really
But
cool that you shared your first experience. Now I'm going to ask Mom, can you share your first cannabis experience?
oh God, my first cannabis experience. Well, I was 11, like all of you guys.
That's the most common age.
I know, isn't it
Is
weird?
that really?
That's so
Yeah,
weird.
that makes
Yeah.
so much sense.
Yeah.
And I just remember standing in this brick hallway outside with a bunch of other kids that were stoners, and they were like, "You might not feel anything the first time," and I
At
was like,
school?
"No, not
Okay.
at school, but after school." And I didn't feel high for a long time, and then finally it hit me like an hour or two later, and I was really
Oh
high.
wow. Oh really? Wow. That's
Yeah,
some serious creep weed. I don't
yeah.
know.
But it
I
was
think
it was not a bad experience and not a great experience, but and then I kind of left cannabis alone for a long time until like 2018, and then I had a serious
oh
health issue, and it really helped me more than anything else. So I was like, this is safe, you know, for me.
yeah.
So
Oh,
it's been
I
very
meant to ask,
helpful.
I don't know if you've ever tried, but my wife and I had some hemp. So I think it was like CBD, THC, you know, and we made a nice tea out of it, and that was very calming. I don't know if you've ever tried that, but that was very calming. I mixed it with my wife does not like the smell of cannabis, and she doesn't consume at all, right? So she wouldn't want to do anything that would alter her consciousness, but it was very relaxing. I enjoyed it very much. And I think I mixed it with some mint tea, and you couldn't even taste or smell the cannabis. It totally
I
covered
love
up.
tea. That sounds
Oh, me too.
awesome.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
nice.
Most
Very
people
calming.
most people who make a tea out of the bud or the stems, you know this, put some sort of oil or fat in it because the cannabinoids bind to it better. So if you're trying
Right.
to drink it in like a more potent edible form, yeah, put some olive oil, some,
Right. Yep. Yep. That makes sense for sure. Yep. That helps a lot. So, what forms of cannabis do you like to use for medicinal purposes? Would you mind sharing that information?
I'm edibles only. She smokes everything.
I smoke everything and I only eat very, very strong edibles.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't smoke because of my lungs, so edibles work really well on me.
And
And I
edibles,
guess I'm one of those people with that kind of metabolism because I notice that it doesn't affect some people at all, but it affects me greatly, and I'm a lightweight. So it's great for my pain. I mean, it's just perfect for that, you
Oh,
know.
okay. That's
I
what I
don't
was going to
feel
ask
like
next. What are you using it to? What kind of are ailments or whatever? So for pain, that's
it's just
interesting.
a neuropathic nerve pain, and it's very soothing. It's very much more long lasting than any like pharmaceutical type drugs that I've had, you know. And it's just I feel giggly and pleasant and healed and like better
Have you
for a
tried any
while, you
topical
know.
stuff like a transdermal
Yes.
patch or a roll-on or okay?
I got some really wonderful massage cream. And I'm a massage therapist too.
Oh,
So it
very
was really it was very helpful for a couple of hours. So it's really strong stuff and it's pricey, but it was worth it. I mean, a little bitty tub lasts me a few months. So it was nice. It was a good experience that I had with it.
yeah. Um, I think that I did you have you probably aren't aware of my elbow. I call a lot of attention to this thing. I hurt my elbow,
I
and
hurt
see
my
that.
elbow.
yeah, I put
Oh
some
my
Fimo on
goodness.
it, and it didn't seem to really help at all. It just
Goodness.
made my elbow really sticky.
The good stuff is like $100 for a couple ounces
Yeah,
of the like really good
Yeah.
topical, and it's got like 100 and something milligrams of THC and CBD of a lower dose in it. But
for pain
yeah, that's
specifically, right?
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
only like in dispensaries at that grade.
For some reason, I'm not having any pain in this crazy thing. It's just really swollen.
What happened?
Um, my doctor, I went to the emergency room because this is like 18 days after it happened. It was swelled up like there was a tennis ball in it. It was huge. Yeah, I've got a Facebook page dedicated to it, Dave's Elbow Chronicles.
Oh my
You can turn in for updates about my elbow. But I tried. Yeah, right. Dave's Elbow Chronicle. Yes. So I have a little bit of fun with it on my Elbow Chronicle thing. So you were asking what was wrong. So I went to the ER and they did some X-rays, and because it wasn't hurting, but I was like, that's not normal. You know, there was like nothing, and then I was just trying to bend my arm, and the only reason I noticed it was because my arm wasn't bending fully like it normally would. I was like, what's going on? And I was like, oh wow, there's a huge lump there. So I went to the ER. I was like, that's not right. And they did some x-rays, and it turns out that it's just a bone spur that I probably bumped. And
Still.
it just made it really inflamed. So I'm trying to get an appointment. I was supposed to hear from the orthopedic department by today, and that didn't happen. So I'll have to follow up tomorrow. But
So how did
I
your
guess
cannabis journey start?
And at what ways do you use cannabis?
Yeah.
okay, right on. That's fair. Okay, so my very first experience was with the cool kid that lived down the street. He was older than me. I grew up, it was just me and my mom. I was a single kid, only parent, right? And I didn't have a lot of friends. I was very little. I had asthma real bad, so I wasn't in sports. I wasn't good at anything, right? I wasn't popular with anybody. But the cool kid down the street liked me for some reason, so I'd go down there and hang out with him. And he was smoking pot, and he was always like, "I'm not going to be the person that invites you to smoke pot the first time." He was maybe a year or two older than me, and eventually we just hung out long enough, and eventually he just did offer me some. I was about 11, and I smoked it, and been addicted ever since. But there's been long periods of my life where I didn't have access to it or couldn't smoke it, so. I think after that, I was never a regular user until almost in my after high school and in my, even after my military career. Just didn't have
Yeah.
access or didn't want to, at that time. So I like to smoke. Basically, flower is my thing. I really like flower. I'll also do concentrates, but flower is
Yeah.
mainly my thing. It's
Have you
kind of a
ever
problem.
done crystals or diamonds or shatter or anything like that?
Yeah, I like diamonds. I really like
Yeah.
diamonds. I've done shatter. I don't like really working with shatter just because it's, I don't know, sticky and it's just kind of hard to work with sometimes. You try and break it and pieces of it fly off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Easy to work
Dabs
with.
too. You put them in the fridge for a while. Yep.
Yeah. Um, I guess if I'm doing concentrates, I love one. I like to do ones that are easier to work with. So I like the consistency of sugar or peanut butter. I don't like real runny ones or anything. That's
Yeah.
just because they're easier to work
Yeah.
with. Yeah.
Yeah,
How
I
about
get
you?
that.
Do you ever do concentrates?
I love the diamonds for sure, but I would either put them like on top of a bowl or I would do a nectar collector or put a dab rig on a bong. They're insane though. I mean, yeah.
For
Dabs I
sure.
did for a while, but I feel like it doesn't scratch the same itch since I'm using it for medical reasons because it doesn't have as much CBD.
I really, my thing I like to do, which is problematic because I'm in Kansas where it's illegal, so I have to go across the state line to Missouri and smoke, and then wait until I'm the effects have totally wore off, and then responsibly travel back home.
Yeah.
But when I do enjoy responsibly, I like to roll a blunt. So I like to open up a cigar, and then I'll take some concentrate and then heat that up and melt it a little bit,
Yeah.
and then rub that on the inside of the blunt uh, before I roll it up, and then I'll roll that up and smoke it. So, and that works really well. I want to do tutorial about that. Magnificent
Yeah.
Messiah and I want to do tutorials about how to roll old school blunts because most people don't know about that. Most people are doing like blunt wraps and stuff like that. We want to show people, how to do it, what we think is the right way anyway.
Mhm.
But he lives on one side of the state and I live on the other. So we're waiting for a time when we're, somewhere in the middle and can make that happen.
Oh, that'd be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. That'll be a good time.
Yeah.
So I've tried other things, like I said, I've tried a lot of those. What are those new ingestibles that are supposed to affect you right away? Like micronized or whatever it is, THC. The particles are supposed to be super tiny so that when you ingest them, they hit your system like right away within like 15 minutes instead of, some edibles can take up to 3 hours before you feel the effect. So I've tried those. I've tried all different kinds of edibles. And when I go to like some events and people are handing out samples and stuff, I always would like to try the samples, but I'm like, man, I feel like they're just wasted on me. If somebody's going to try and take that to get some effect from it, I'm just going to enjoy the snack. You know what I mean?
Said that to her so many times when she has bags of lower dose ones when it's like a bunch of 10 milligram gummies. She's like, "You're out. Do you want one?" I'm like, "You're throwing it away. There's
Right. Yeah.
anything."
Yeah. For sure. So yeah, I've often admired people that are able to consume cannabis and enjoy it. I bought some sublingual drops. That didn't work either. I think I've tried just probably every kind of cannabis thing that you can consume orally and just nothing. Even like I said, even up to really high dose, because I've had people before that have told me that they don't have any effect, but they did like 500 or 600 milligrams, and then it kicked in, and then they could. And I've gone up to 1,000 milligrams, and I just don't think it's really safe. Going higher than that is ridiculous, you know.
Do FICO,
That's what I was
or
just
I
gonna
was gonna like for the very high dose.
I did some like drinks. I several different drinks. One drink that had like 200 milligrams, and then I did another drink that had 400 milligrams, and then I did some more edibles. So
Yep.
I
Damn.
had a lot.
Make sure you shake the drinks.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think I did. I got some syrup one time, and I put it on my pancakes. I really liked it,
Yes.
and I had some
We
big
went to an
Oreo
edible
cookies that
truck
were
in
edible
Columbia.
sometimes.
You did.
Yeah, I did.
What's
There's
that?
some edibles, like
Food
edibles
trucks.
food trucks out in like Columbia, Missouri. That
No
was
way.
crazy. Yeah, yeah.
It's like tiny California. It's weird.
Huh.
It's like tiny ghetto California.
I
Yeah.
wonder how those. I bet those people are not operating with a legitimate cannabis license. I don't know
Oh,
how
Yeah,
they do it.
they
Are
are.
they?
Yeah.
Are they? Huh.
Yeah.
Are they like a part of a dispensary, and it's just like
I think so, yeah. They have
Probably.
I think they have a dispensary on like the main square in Columbia
It's
or something.
probably a dispensary that partnered with some sort of restaurant or yeah.
Yeah, they have all kinds of pizza and baked goods and all kinds of crazy shit and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a fun day.
Have you seen? I haven't seen one yet, but I've seen it online, and I think the concept is amazing. Like a consumption lounge that's mobile, like you could like a party bus. Maybe you could even rent it. You know, if you wanted to go to the Super Bowl or something like that, you could rent out the party lounge and smoke out. You know, or you could just go to events, and then people could come in and out of the lounge at events or
Yeah.
things like that. That'd be cool.
There are more and more places popping up that are not dispensaries, but they're just like smoke places. And I think there's one in Rolla now. There's like, yeah, it's like a place where just people get together to smoke because there's no public buildings you can really do that, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I know I've been covering a lot of these little events that pop up, these cannabis related events where people are selling, and a lot of people are smoking at sometimes indoors at these events. Sometimes they're outdoors and people are just smoking everywhere at those events anyway. But are there like a lot of those little events there where you, like there's like maybe people selling bracelets, and there's also some people selling bud, and there's some people selling some edibles and t-shirts and stuff, kind of like an open market?
When we first started doing all this, it seemed like there were more for sure. And I hope that there will be more, but yeah, there were a few big ones in Rolla whenever they first started getting more businesses that were that orientation, you know.
Right.
But the one that we went to, it had so many different businesses and brands and stuff, and it was a small town, like outside of Rolla. Remember that one?
Yeah,
The
it
Peace
was,
of Mind one?
yeah, it was pretty recent. Yeah.
Yeah. But
That's
the place that
interesting.
put those on went out of business. One of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a amazing opportunity for me to interact with a potential customer base and do some market research. So when you go to your dispensary, what do you love about the dispensary that you go to?
Honestly, so top two things: the prices, the deals. Any like the people who work there get the penny Tuesdays. The people who buy there should get clearance stuff too, in one way or another. Whenever you're, you know. And the other thing, they have nature in some of them. There's one that has a giant framed moss wall, and it is like 100 different kinds of moss, and they have to keep it wet all the time because it's real. But like bringing nature in, making it very, very relaxing and calm. Like there's a Led Zeppelin pinball machine in one of them, you know, that kind of
Oh, cool.
stuff. Yeah,
I was
but
thinking
deals
about
and
doing
nature.
I was thinking about doing a waterfall that would cover like one wall, you know?
Like fish pond or something.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that'd be badass. That would be really badass. And then the fish pond is actually feeding an aquaponic garden where you're growing weeds.
Oh, Fish
That'd be-
poo.
Great. Fish poo.
I do aquaponics. I'm not doing it right now. The city came in and made me tear my system. Well, they didn't make me tear it down, but it wasn't worth keeping up anymore because the city wouldn't let me put up a greenhouse around it. So
Yeah. Are you moving to Missouri, or is your business?
I
gonna
want,
be in
yeah.
Missouri,
As soon as I get a location, a brick and mortar locked in, then our next thing on the agenda is to move to Missouri so that I can grow and then I can consume and I can grow my own
Yeah.
medicine and so forth. So that's on the agenda for sure. Yeah.
It's
I
exciting.
already live in Missouri in my heart.
Well, I hope we see you when you would get established in Missouri, and I'm sure we'll talk to you lots before then too.
Sure.
So
Yeah, this has been a fun show. This is kind of almost what my format is, just getting to know people. And I love telling people stories too. And especially everybody has an interesting story to tell about cannabis, about why they use, or somebody that's been touched by it. Somebody that I had the Green Angels Network on. That was another podcast. I'm talking about all these. Did you know about those ladies? Are those
yeah, but
people?
I haven't seen the podcast. Yeah, they help
Yeah, I
people.
had
Yeah.
them on. So they do a lot of community work by accepting donations from the community, like of trim or whatever, and then they turn that trim into FICO, and then they gift that to people that are like cancer patients or people with muscular dystrophy and things like that. FICO, RSO,
Amazing.
SAVs, and stuff like that. Yeah, so they got a network in Missouri where tune in, watch that episode. It's really cool.
Yes,
Yeah, if you're not
definitely.
watching all my episodes, you're really missing out, apparently.
Oh. All right, we'll watch them all.
In
You
a
should at
row.
least watch the one about the application process for the Missouri Micro Business Lottery. Check that one out. And then I need to do an update about that because the city has, the state of Missouri has done the meeting that I was talking about in that, where they were going to come out and address some of the concerns about what's going to happen in possibly round 3, which was a kind of a letdown, what we thought was going to happen. But
Yeah.
so I
Have
need
you
to
heard
do an
anything
update.
about when it's going to be open again?
Probably
Applications?
not
Does
till
anybody
next
know?
year. I'm guessing not till next year because they're wanting to. That's part of what the big reveal was. They said if they're going to make rule changes right now, and this was, I think, in November. I think when the meeting was, at that time, they were saying that they were just in the discovery phase of gathering information about whether any rule changes even needed to be made. Once they had some rule changes, then they had to submit those possible rule changes to some organization that would review those for 6 to 8 months. And then they could implement them and then start talking about how they were going to run the round 3. So I'm guessing a year from when they were talking about that.
Oh,
If there's going to be rule changes, there may not be any. They may decide we're just going to do this how we're already doing it. But I think the big rule change they're trying to do is, instead of validating all these applications that are awarded after they're awarded, they're trying to do the validation before they even go into the lottery, so that all the licenses that are winners will hopefully go to people that are actual qualified applicants. So I think that's what they're trying to do.
It would also reduce the amount of them that they have to revoke right afterward.
yeah.
Right, exactly, right. Because I think in this round 3, they're required by Constitution to submit or to issue 142, I think, micro business licenses. And so they're wanting to do the remaining licenses and plus all the ones that were revoked, and maybe even some additional ones on top of that, because they can issue more than that if they want to. This round 3 is the time to get in, because I think your chances of getting in, especially if you're submitting an application legitimately, are really good. If you've been a couple of the criteria for getting in is if you've been convicted of a nonviolent cannabis offense, ding, 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 you're a qualified applicant. You can be qualified based on your zip code. Yeah. Well, I think I have to qualify that too, though. I think alcohol could not have been involved also. Like, you can't have gotten a DUI because of alcohol and some kind of a possession charge or something like that. But if you have a nonviolent cannabis charge, you're a qualified applicant. I got in because I'm a disabled veteran. That's what was my qualified applicant. A lot of people get in based on their zip code because of people in that zip code is like a poverty. People in that zip code are in poverty, or they're more people in that zip code are adversely affected by cannabis crimes, and there's different criteria. So it's possible that you and your daughter both could apply, so, and other household members, if they're qualified applicants, could get in on that.
Yeah, I could technically apply for one, but I couldn't work
At it.
at any of them
Yeah.
until I'm 21, which has
Isn't
been
that weird? The
a hard
rules are
thing
so
for years,
strange.
yeah.
She could apply, but she couldn't work there, and she could win one.
I
but she
could
couldn't work
I
there.
could
Yeah.
have my own dispensary and not work at it. Yeah.
By the time you got it up and running, you'd probably be 21.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because if they're talking about not even maybe doing round 3 till next year, and then
It'll take 2 years to get completely up. Yeah.
Wow.
the state takes their sweet time. And when I got into this, and Magnificent Messiah and I both talked about this, when we got in this, we thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was. It's hard because on the one hand, there's no federal funding available. Like, we can't go through the Small Business Administration for help where most people can because it's federally funded. We can't get SCORE mentors because that's federally funded. There's a lot of things that aren't available to us that a normal business would be able to take advantage of. It we can't, just because it's a cannabis business and it's illegal federally still. And we thought when we got this license, people were going to be backing a truck up full of money saying, "Hey, Dave, let me give you my money and you make this dispensary and we'll make money together," and it has not been like that at all. It's been a lot harder to try and attract somebody that's got the resources to make this work, because most of these micro business people like me, we don't have business experience, and that's a red flag for somebody that's trying to drop some money. Who wants to give me $500,000 or $1 million to start my dispensary? No business experience. And all I have is a license. I don't have any. I could probably put some money in this. I could probably drop some money in this too. And I think an investor would probably expect me to. So,
Yeah.
but
That's fair.
Sometimes there are 50-50 investments. So sometimes if you do drop a certain amount, an investor will just match you.
sure, yeah. I'm trying different stuff. The route I've been going is through the Missouri Constitution. You cannot give more than 49% of your business away. You have to be a majority owner of the license. So I have to be at least a 51% owner. So I was trying to trade equity with somebody, hopefully, that was cannabis savvy and knew something about the business and could help me, because I need people that are savvy. I've gotten some cannabis experience in Missouri. I worked at a grow facility for a while, but that's not a dispensary,
Yeah.
So I need somebody that's got experience. That would be great if I could find somebody like that to partner with. And that's kind of what I'm hoping to find. And that's what I've been doing. And that hasn't really worked out for me yet. I'm trying to consider some other things, like maybe angel investors or debt, just doing the debt financing and do it myself. But I don't have much. This house is all I have. If I had to put this house up and then I ruined it, and I lost my house, I'm almost 60 years old. I'm too old to start over again. That would ruin me for the rest of my life, so I got to be cautious if I'm going to take that route.
I think got to find the right group of people around you that support you, that you trust,
I think also the fact that you're a veteran is very important, especially considering you want to open a dispensary, because not necessarily a lot of veterans are just rolling around in money that they're willing to give you, but there are probably quite a few who rely on marijuana and would like to help with something like that,
Yeah.
Oh, let me ask again, talking about dispensaries and veterans, because there's a couple things I want to highlight about the dispensary that I want to do. I'll give you a kind of an abbreviated elevator pitch. So I heard what you do like about your dispensary. Tell me what you don't like about your dispensary.
It depends.
And this is not to hurt anybody's feelings at the dispensary if they're watching. This is only for constructive criticism.
No. Two things. It depends on which dispensary, because some of them still won't let me in. Since I got my medical card, there's about 3 or 4 different kinds that won't let me in until I turn 21, even though I'm a medical patient, and that's just wrong. That's just rude. And then the other thing, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like there are different ways it could be done. They do a like sales competition every year with the people now at my favorite one, and the one who gets the most positive reviews gets like a $500 bonus in their paycheck. So everybody for like 2 months is just the best customer service ever. So
Gotcha.
I mean, it's not a horrible thing, but the way they do it is a little bit like, it's a
A
little
little
overbearing.
disingenuous, you think? Is that what you're trying to think, or it's so
Like
you think maybe it's a little bit disingenuous, so because they're motivated to be by money to give
No, not
more care? Is that what you're saying, or?
exactly. Well, like I feel like it was with some of them, but the like you just said, the girl who ended up actually winning, she was really the only one who was trying like super
Oh,
hard, so it made sense that she won the bonus, and that's cool too. Like if you have one worker that's picking up the whole team, they get a huge bonus, like
for sure.
yeah.
Okay, let me give you a couple of things about vision about High and Tight when it opens. So, first thing is I've done some market research, and a lot of people are not satisfied with the product they are getting at the dispensary. A couple of things, like you buy a bag or a jar of something and you get home and you paid 30, 45 bucks for it, and you open it up when you get home because you can't look at it in the store, and you're like, oh, and it doesn't smell right, or maybe it's dry and it doesn't smoke right, and that's a disappointing experience. So I want to have deli style where customers can come in and see the weed and they can smell the weed, and I can weigh it out right there and they can get what they want right there. And I want to have all top shelf stuff, or well, I'll have not all top shelf, but mostly top shelves. That will be all my stuff that's served deli style.
They just started doing that at the main one I go to, and I didn't know what that was for a while. Their deli style stuff is a little bit more expensive just because it's never been in
Yeah,
a bag, but
right.
I did go and try it out, and it's like a better humidity level, if that makes sense. It is
For sure.
it's cool. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I would expect that people would think that my deli style weed would be top shelf stuff. Like you're going to get really good effects from it, and it should be at the proper humidity, and you shouldn't have any problems with it when you get it home. You should be happy with it. You should be happy
Yeah.
with it before you even leave the store. If you can smell it and see it, see what you're getting.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to do is to solve a problem that a lot of customers that go to dispensaries have a secret stash of like doob tubes and jars that they don't want to throw away because they're beautiful jars, and they want to I'll put my earrings in this, or I'll put change in it, or I'll think of something to do with this. I don't want to throw it in the trash, right? So I want to have a recycling option for customers that come in, like bring in 10 disposable vape pens and get a pre-roll or something, or a 10% off or
Yes.
something like that,
Yes.
or
And then
bring in
share the
10
news with
jars or
all
something. Those
ask
vape
all
pens are
the
the
other
devil. I hate
dispensaries to do
those
it
things.
too.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
great idea.
Yeah. So those are a couple of things that I want to do at my dispensary that other people aren't doing. Another thing I want to do is have a private consultation area, because I don't know if you've ever been in a dispensary when usually it happens that like an elderly person will come in and walk around and they look like they're just lost. Like they want to ask questions, but they don't even know what to ask, and maybe they're embarrassed. Or maybe people just don't want to talk about that unsightly rash on their genitals that they need some cream for, They don't want to talk about that on a sales floor packed with strangers, right? So I want to have a private consultation area so that people maybe don't want to talk about their PTSD or whatever issues they got. They can come in and talk with a bud tender or somebody in a little bit private area where everybody doesn't have to hear about why you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
I love all these ideas. They're really good.
Yeah, sounds great. I'd
Yeah, I
go
have a
there.
lot of really amazing ideas. Here's one really amazing idea. Check this out.
You must be new around here because I know all the ladies.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
So stupid.
That was on Ralph Rex Internet. Goat meme was a big thing. Yep.
Oh, really? It's just,
Yeah.
I don't even remember. I'll do another one. I think I'm going to do another one. I have another idea for another one. These just didn't get enough traction that I was like, people aren't really enjoying the goat thing. I don't know why, but maybe I'll do another one.
I like the
Eventually.
one where you just the improv song where you mess up a couple times and then just keep going. That was comedy gold. That was great.
That's good stuff right there. Yeah, I like that one too. I got a lot of good feedback on that. I think I may do it again. I think I might just start singing it live at the beginning of every episode.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to memorize it.
Right, I know. Well, I wrote it, so hopefully I've got it down. So, I think I've covered an hour of material here. This is as much as I wanted to do. I'm a little bit disappointed that only one person was able to join. Well, one account and 2 people were able to join. I was hoping to have more guests, but this worked out just fine. It was lovely to spend some time with you ladies.
Well, once it can post to your group, I'm sure you will have more guests, and it was lovely to talk with you as well.
Yeah. So, my wife, I don't know, she was not very enthusiastic that she found out I was doing an additional podcast to the one I'm already doing on Tuesday. But if I continue to do these ones on Wednesdays with my wife's approval, tune in next Wednesday.
Right?
And we'll have you back. Yeah, we can have you back on next Tuesday if you want to come back.
Yeah, if we're available, for sure.
So, think about what you want to talk about for next week. This was almost like a Slightly Informed Opinions of Dave podcast episode. It's basically the same format. I like to tell a joke. I like to ask about first cannabis use, and then what is your thing about cannabis? Everybody has a thing, whether they just smoke it because they enjoy it, or they like to grow it and they like to smoke their own, or they're doing it for medicinal reasons, or they're doing it because they're trying to get off harder drugs or whatever. Everybody's got an amazing cannabis story to share. Everybody in the community has an amazing cannabis story to tell. And I like telling people stories. I think it's fun connecting with people that way. And I hope that's what this show turns into. Just a way for people to connect, talk about cannabis, try and break through some of these stigmas, because there's still a lot of stigma out there that's preventing people from getting medicine because they think that it's a terrible, horrible evil, or they just don't know what the benefits of this plant can really do for society. Is that a cat's butthole again? Oh my God. Oh my God.
And you're collecting those stories here. So that's super
What's that?
cool that you're doing that. I said you're collecting all those stories here on your
True, yeah.
channel.
So I guess if I had a homework assignment for you ladies, it's to watch that application, the micro business application video.
Homework.
Watch that.
Damn.
Good one. What's that?
I said homework. Damn.
Yeah. I got some homework for you. You can give me a homework assignment too. What's my homework assignment?
Pick 2 or 3 things that need to be reformed about current, big dispensaries that you would do differently in yours, other than what you've already said.
Okay.
Like
all
things
right.
that they don't do right.
Okay. All right. I'll take that challenge. I think I already know one for sure. And it's going to be easier to implement in my dispensary, because a lot of these big dispensaries, these comprehensive places, they get hundreds, thousands of products. Like they may have one cookies, right? And that cookies may have 10 different kinds of flour, and they may have 10 different kinds of concentrate and vape pens and all that. So when I go into a dispensary and I say I'm like, what do you have that's really terpy? And they show me something. I'm like, have you tried that? And they're like, no. I want my bud tenders to know what my product is like. So
yes,
since we're gonna have a smaller amount of product to deal with, hopefully that's not going to be a problem. When we get product in, there's going to be, you don't have to smoke 100 joints because 100 different products came in that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can take a couple of pre-rolls home and try it out. That's one thing I want to change. I want my bud tenders to be more involved and know more about the product that's going on, because they tried it.
Yeah.
Personal touch.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. So that's one thing right off the top of my head. How'd I do so far?
Oh, great. Yeah. All of the things that you say that you want to change compared to how it works right now are things that would change it to make it more personable, like you said, more personal.
Personal service and everything. I mean, if I go in there and it's somebody I recognize and they treat me well every time I'm in there, and we have fun with them, You know,
For
a
sure,
lot of
yeah.
it's just about how much fun you can have with people that are working there because they love their job, wouldn't you? I mean,
Yeah.
that'd be the greatest job in the world.
I guess
know?
the other thing I would do, I'm going to complete my homework assignment right now. It wouldn't be something that would be directly customer facing, but I would like to do like probably won't be able to happen at first when I first open up, but eventually I would like to be able to pay my bud tenders and my set staff more than the average that people are making in that area. And I would also, because being treated like you're a corporate cog is a big reason why there's so much turnover in these dispensaries and the grow facilities. There's no chance of a raise. You know, if you're late for work, you're fired. You know what I mean? There's no, it's kind of a machine, a corporate machine, really, you know, and I don't want to do that. And I'd also like to do profit sharing for my employees, you know. So at the end of the year, if we have a nice profitable year at the Christmas party, you know, you guys can, thanks for your efforts. You contributed to that. If you've been working here for a year or whatever, you can share in some of the company's profits. So that's something I would do that maybe other dispensaries are not doing.
Oh, that would be great.
Weed unions.
Weed unions.
Yeah. I'm going to need some bud tenders and some managers, ladies. So if you're willing to move up north, there'll be some openings. No, no way. I
Well,
can't move to the city.
2 years from now, check back again.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
For
if you don't
sure.
get your license, right? Yeah, think about it.
We will.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Seriously, I would love to mentor you ladies if you want somebody to kind of help walk you through the process. And
Oh yeah,
I
any
would love for you
experience
to apply.
anybody has, it's good to know, you know, what others' experiences have been for sure. Any education we can get is always good education.
And hopefully, my
Thank you.
hope is that, you know, by the time these round 3 people come in, I'll have already figured this out. And so there may be resources that I can put people in touch with that help me, that can help them have the success that I found as well. You know what I mean? I hope that's the case anyway. Yeah, so all right. I already did my homework. Did I pass, teacher? Thumbs up. Nice. Okay, good deal. All right, let's do this again next week. Hopefully, next week it'll actually just display. So we've made progress, right? Last week I wasn't able to get any guest week on. This week I got some guests, but it did not display to my Facebook group like I wanted it to. So I think probably we'll get more viewers when I do it. Try and do it right again next week. Did you ladies
Yeah.
want to provide any contact information about how people can get in touch with you if they want to?
Not really
You don't
yet.
have to. You
Yeah.
don't have to.
Ask us again next
A lot of
time.
my guests do. A lot of my guests do, but that's all right. I totally get it if you don't.
Yeah.
So we'll skip that for now. I just realized that my banner has been scrolling this whole time about my contact information,
Well, everybody knows how to get hold of you, see?
right? They do.
Yeah, they can get hold of us through you. No.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to get, I'll screen out all the weirdos for you. Unfortunately, you're already speaking to the weirdo right here. Unfortunately for you. Ladies, it's been an absolute
That's
pleasure.
great.
Thanks so much for being a part of my show on your
Thank
birthday.
you so
Happy
much.
birthday
It's
tomorrow.
fun.
Yeah. Did you already have
Thank
cake?
you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Did you already
We'll
have
see you
cake?
again.
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to check in. That's your second homework assignment. I want to hear about the cake.
Oh no. Okay, we'll try.
Yeah, ask us later.
All right.
All right, we'll see you next week. Thanks so much for tuning in, ladies. Take
Yeah,
care.
thank you.
Peace. Bye.
It's the slightly informed opinions of Dave, the Weedcast. It's super low budget, and I don't have a band. I'll just make the instrument sounds with my mouth and my hand. There's going to be exciting guests and an outrageous co-host. You will find out that this show is the most. I'm gonna do my own thing. It's gonna be super cool. We're gonna have a good time. And if you don't like it, you can respectfully disagree. I'm just kidding. You can suck it.